Hi, I'm Stuart, and today I'm going on a really short flight. Now, my aircraft only has one seat, and the view you're going to get is very much what the pilot sees. So if you think that's something that would interest you, come on, let's get going. So we're going to be flying the Streak Shadow, which is has a four-stroke engine, and where we are in South Wales, which is part of the United Kingdom, and right down there, not North Wales, but down into South Wales. And this is the route we'll be taking. If we went in a straight line, it's only 16 miles right across the bay. So we announce our intentions on safety com, Old Park Farm traffic, Golf Echo November Echo Echo, lining up runway 18, immediate departure, Old Park Farm. So push the throttle forward, stick back, power's coming up, nose wheels coming light, wind slightly from the right. As soon as we lift off, get rid of the flaps so we don't overspeed them. And now I turn slightly left here. The reason being is there's fields off to the left there which give a better option should the engine fail at this point. But now I'm getting the height here, I can turn right and head for the coast, which is where we want to be going. So as we come round, we can see the airfield off our wingtip there. So should the engine stop, we could make it back in there. So we're heading out for the coast. This is going to be the route we're going to take. Just off from the runway to the coast, turn right and then follow along the coastline. Here we are, nearly at the coast. Marvellous visibility today. Looking around, climbing through, 1,400 feet. Still climbing at 500 feet a minute. Could climb quicker, but there's no need. There's no rush to get up high. We're only going to go to about 2,000 feet to follow along. So as you can see, a marvellous view all around. That's my radio attached to my chest there. And that's the route we're going to follow along. So no sooner we've taken off that I call up Swansea radio and ask them for airfield information. As we're coming over Swansea City now, we'll speed this up just so you're not totally bored. In the air it seems to be quite quick, but playing it back does seem quite slow. So we're heading into the ATZ around the Swansea airfield. So we're speaking to Swansea radio, get their permission to enter their traffic zone. And there was nobody else around, so I was kind of able to do an abbreviated circuit, which is a right-hand circuit onto runway 22. Now runway 22 is the magnetic heading of the runway. It's not as if they've got 22 runways. So here on the right there's the airfield coming visible and the runway we're going to be landing on. Last time I was here it was throwing it down with rain, which was in I think about December. So a much better day today. So here we are, we're just about to turn downwind. The airfield is over on our right hand wingtip now. As we come round you'll just be able to see there it is. So now we're going downwind, running parallel to the runway. So it's speeded up about 4 times this is. So we're about to turn tight base leg. We've got quite a good wind, it's about 14 knots today. So now we're on right base and then turning into final for runway 22. Okay, let's slow this down to the real speed now. So this is the real speed. Nice and quiet. Cross at that part of the runway, arrows to the displaced threshold. Keep it coming down. See from the ribbon on the front, a bit of a crosswind, only not much. And now just add a bit of power just to fly, because I don't want to taxi the whole length of the runway. So just fly down in ground effect just a little bit further so I don't have to taxi so far. Okay, so this should do us to land about here. Wait for it, just feeling for the ground. There we are. Main wheels touch down. And now the nose. Okay, there's a control tower on the left there. And they direct me that I can park anywhere on the apron because there is nobody else at all at the airfield. So speed it up again. Normally you only taxi at a fast walking pace. So as we come round, there was a gentleman putting up a sign there. Swansea is managed by volunteers. So we came round and parked up. He kindly gave me a lift over there, paid my landing fee, and once that was done, I was on my way again. So cafe wasn't open, wasn't anybody there. When I opened the cockpit, I was surprised I could hear a cuckoo in the woods opposite, the first one of the summer. I was on the way again speaking to their Swansea radio, so they give you advice. It's not an air traffic control as such. And they cleared me to taxi via Charlie through to Alpha. And I was holding at Alpha, and that's where we take up the story. So here we are, holding at Alpha, just short, and it's a short taxiway, and we meet the runway halfway along. Now, I wasn't going to backtrack, I didn't need that length of runway to take off on. So as I taxied out towards the runway, steering the Shadow is tricky. It's done with the brake pedals. So nothing on the approach, looking up the approach, make sure nobody's landing. Lining up, turning left onto the runway here, so we're lined up now on runway 22, about halfway along in actual fact. Okay, once the nose wheel is straight, in goes the power, back on the stick, get the weight off the nose wheel, and very quickly we're flying. Didn't use any flap, there wasn't any need to get off the ground that quick. Past the tower, and the apron where we'd been parked, climbing out the runway. Not a lot of places straight ahead to go if the engine failed, but don't think about that at the moment. Keep going, and very quickly we're at the coast and leaving their ATZ. So that's the route we've taken, and there I'm talking to Swansea Radio and letting them know my intentions. And round and then come back towards Old Park Farm, passing through their overhead. That's Three Cliffs Bay on the left there. Further up on there, that huge sweeping bay is Oxwich, and the whole of the Gower, you can see across to the other side of it there, the Gower Peninsula area known of outstanding natural beauty. There's Oxwich down there. So we're heading down towards Ross Scilly. Here we are, just approaching Ross Scilly, the huge beach on the right there, sweeping round with Ross Scilly down, a favourite with paragliders and hang gliders. Such a smooth facing the southwesterly wind. So round we come and start heading back. There's the coastline looking absolutely beautiful at this time of the year with the sunlight. Water's still pretty cold, but it looks beautiful. So around we come, climbed up a little bit higher, checked again with Swansea Radio that I could pass through the overhead because obviously they have parachuting there sometimes. And although I was clear of their ATZ in as much that I was above it, I didn't want to meet any parachutist coming down. There's Oxwich Bay on the right again, and now we're passing over, more or less over the top of Swansea Airport. There it is down there. There's the runway we took off from just before. And there's the apron where we were parked, the taxiway. Now, as you can see here, this was the fastest part, downhill, going downhill about 300 feet per minute, doing about 85 knots, and it equated to about 101 miles per hour over the ground. Had a tailwind as well. Cheating, I know, but so here we are back past Port Talbot, running down over the Deepwater Harbour, and we're going to be turning left, more or less just a rerun of what we did, but we're going to be landing on runway 30, as that has a little bit of a crosswind rather than the full crosswind if we landed on 36. Coming over the industrial estate and over the motorway, looking out to the left at the airfield, There's the airfield just zooming in there. So now we're in the downwind left-hand position for runway 30. So we're going to go around the windmill, and that'll put us on final for runway 30. Round we go. At this point, I'm announcing my intentions on the radio. Old Park Farm traffic, Golf Echo November Echo Echo, final runway 30, Old Park Farm. Around we come. Surprised at the brown fields, which are obviously cooking in the afternoon sunlight. Just giving a bit of turbulence together with the turbulence off the windmill. But hopefully that all smooths out. You can see the ribbon on the screen there flicking around as we pass through the turbulence there behind the windmill. So just keep coming. 2 fields left to go. Runway right on the nose. Get the feel of what the crosswind's doing. Keeping the speed nice and slow. Very serious game face on, as this is the bit where it really counts. The last couple of feet. Over the sheep, over the track, and down onto 30. Here we go. It is slightly downhill, so you tend to roll out a little bit quicker than you would. But there we go. So let's speed it up, parking back to the hangar. Then you will have done the whole flight, door to door almost. Round we come. Normally we just come up here very slowly, but it takes a long time. Front of the hangar, slightly uphill, so I can roll it down. Canopy open, and of course disconnecting the pilot aware and doing the paperwork as always. Thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I'll catch you on the next one.